Georgetown University provides self-care suites for coddled students stressed about Election Day, complete with milk and cookies and coloring book at Georgetown University.
Colleges across America canceled classes so they could coddle their crying liberal students. We're gonna watch this video by Brett Cooper because it is absolute insanity, and it highlights one of the major problems with higher education right now. Not to mention students coming out can't pay their debts, but they're also just not adults. They're not getting prepared to be functioning citizens in society. They're being coddled and they're being treated like babies, safe spaces and comfort spaces, all because when things don't go their way, they don't know how to handle it, and they are perpetual victims. So this video talks about some insane stuff that these colleges were doing post-election to help comfort the students who are just losing their minds because Trump won. Let's watch.
I mean, even before the votes started rolling in, Georgetown University's School of Public Policy, Georgetown, one of the most esteemed, prestigious universities in the country, announced that they would be offering self-care suites for students for after the election. Literally, self-care suites. New York Post wrote about this. Georgetown University provides self-care suites for coddled students stressed about Election Day, complete with milk and cookies and coloring book at Georgetown University. So guys, all of this came out through an article in the Free Press after they were alerted about an email that was sent to Georgetown students. They wrote, in an email to McCourt students, and that is the School of Public Policy at Georgetown, Jacqueline Clevenger, the school's director of student engagement, introduced the school's post-election self-care suite. Quote, in recognition of these stressful times, all McCourt community members are welcome to gather in the third floor commons to take a much-needed break, joining us for mindfulness activities and snacks throughout the day. And I just want you to read the schedule of events because I thought that it could not get worse. These are real. 10 a.m. tea, cocoa, and self-care. 11 a.m., Legos station. 12 p.m., healthy treats and healthy habits. 1 p.m., coloring and mindfulness exercises. 2 p.m., milk and cookies. 4 p.m., Legos and coloring. 5 to 6 p.m., snacks and self-guided meditation.
Now, this is absolute absurdity. That schedule looked like something that they would give parents for their preschoolers' itinerary for the day. And they didn't say it, but we know it. If Kamala would have won the election, this whole comfort suite thing wouldn't have even happened. They have disdain for people on the right. It shows the unilateral political affiliations that exist on campus. It's Democrat or else. You'll get canceled, you'll get ostracized, you'll get looked at as some sort of bigot or homophobe or transphobe or racist if you don't align with the Democratic ideals. But back to that insane itinerary, right? Why in the world would colleges be providing this kind of thing to their students? And you wonder why college students are coming out of college and can't pay their student loan debts. Because all they're doing is creating giant big babies who are faced with any kind of adversity and just buckle and crumble and fall and cry and need comfort suites and safe spaces in order to operate. That's not going to lead to productive citizens who help benefit the country and help move the country forward. These are going to be our future leaders, our future politicians, our future business leaders. These people are not equipped with a spine. These people don't know how to hear different views or perspectives without crumbling or crying into their hidey hole. These people don't respect differences. These people are the true fascists because it's their way or silence. These are the people who deem that words and rhetoric is actually violence, and so you can't speak your opinion because it's inflicting violence on somebody. These are the people who don't support free speech and are actively promoting censorship.
The Georgetown School of Public Policy should not be facilitating that. They should not be offering that to their students. They should get their students back in class. They should be using this huge historical event as curriculum fodder. They should be talking about why Kamala's campaign failed. What happened? Why did so many people leave the left? They should be talking about why Trump's campaign worked. They should keep moving forward in the betterment and the empowerment of their students. Like this, milk and cookies, that is not it. And unsurprisingly, they were not alone. Libs of TikTok posted this one. University of Washington is offering a safe space to the students to process the election. It includes a pause for pause, petting zoo, craft tables, and a gratitude wall to help with the stress. University of Washington has turned into a daycare, higher education for you. I mean, literally, look at this thing. Pause for pause, petting zoo, craft station, gratitude, gosh.
You're a baby.
I mean, here's another. This was posted by one of the Missouri State University schools. In anticipation of the coming week, which might be stressful for students, the Counseling Center will offer the following: partnering with Maggers Health and Wellness to provide a self-care, no-phone zone, safe space on Election Day. Students will be offered self-care activities such as calm jars, coloring pages, and sensory fidgets. Calm jars, sensory fidgets. These are adults at a university.
And these are the people of the Democratic Party who consistently use their college degree as some sort of elite credential that makes them better and smarter and more sophisticated than the rest of America. Working class Americans don't deal with their problems this way. They have to face their problems head on. They have to face the challenges that life presents them. That's why so many people left the Democratic Party and voted for Trump, because of that exact problem. They faced the hardships that life was presenting them, and they said they wanted to change. These people can't even recognize their own faults, their own flaws. They have to use comfort jars and comfort spaces and petting dogs to make themselves feel better. And you see why employers dislike these new age college students that are coming out into the workforce. They're unprepared, they're childish, they don't have any responsibility, they can't deal with adversity, and they complain and whine when things don't go their way. That's not the way the real world operates. College does not create competent adults who are useful to society anymore. That's why Americans have such a problem with the whole student loan forgiveness thing, is because people who decided not to take the college path and actually just go into the real world and become an adult on their own don't want to subsidize and pay for the diplomas of people who go through this liberal brainwashing camp, who come out the other side angry and hateful and childish. These college students are being trained to see everything as offensive, everything as some sort of injustice. And when things don't go their way, they need coddled like they're a 5-year-old kid. This is absolutely ridiculous. If you didn't know this is how college operates, now you know. And I hope that you don't go down that path if you're watching it, potentially going to college, or if you have kids, I hope you are wary of sending your kids to college, because this is the actual kind of thing that they are taught, and these are the kind of people that they're morphing your children into.
This was all put out there before Trump had even begun to win, because on Wednesday morning, emails and posts started flooding in from schools and professors all over the country, canceling classes so that students and professors could grieve. At Ohio University, for example, one professor sent this email: "Hi all. I've decided to cancel class today to give space to those who are devastated by the election results. I have already interacted with students who are hurting badly, who are scared, who are tired, who are unsure of how to go on. For those of you who are sad, scared, traumatized, angry, please know that you are not alone. Please take time to take care of yourself, to find small joys, to hold close the people who matter to you."
These students are being turned into narcissists who believe that their problems are the center of the world, and if they're upset, the world stops spinning, and that they have to have their problems addressed and remedied before anything else can happen. You know what an adult has to do if something doesn't go their way? They have to wake up the next morning, put on their shoes, and go to work. They don't get to just sulk and cry and sit around all day and be sad because things didn't go their way. And that just leads to unproductive adults. That's what these universities are cranking out en masse. So it should be scary for everybody watching this video that this is how the new generation is being taught to deal with their problems. Like, I can understand a whole bunch of college students being sad and whiny about the election, but it is on the adults to teach them that that is not the way that they respond to adversity, and the way that will make them happier and better suited to be successful in life is by just moving forward, by just pushing forward, continuing on as you were before, and realizing that the world is not going to stop, and that it is in your own power to determine how successful you're going to be and what you're going to make of a situation. If they think that the way to deal with any bad situation is by crying and sulking and laying in bed and thinking that the world's going to end, and thinking that their problems just have to be addressed and taken care of before they can move forward, that doesn't help them out any. And that's what college is supposed to be. That's what it originally was, a place of higher education, higher thinking, competing ideals, a place where you get to expand your way of thinking and your point of views and be challenged and become a functioning adult in society, a critical thinker. But that's not what it is anymore. It's liberal indoctrination camps that take somebody and within 4 years spit them out the other side, a blue-haired ally.
As another example, an MSU professor sent her students this, quote, "As a queer immigrant woman of color, I cannot just go on," and her classes were canceled. And in the email, she says that she's taking the day off to grieve. And this one, in my opinion, is even worse because she's not doing it for her students. She's doing it for herself. The adult that is in the room that is supposed to be teaching them, molding, guiding these students, literally cannot get herself together enough to show up for her students. Somebody commented and said, "Teachers are supposed to set an example. No wonder why this new generation are soft AF. This is exactly how we get white dudes for Harris. Be a grown-up, get your ass up to work. WTF is going on."
These colleges are simply teaching kids to believe their political ideology, and that's it. That's why when you see conservative speakers come to college, there's all these protests to try to get them shut down, to try to get them kicked off campus. They don't believe in free speech. They don't believe in competing ideas. They believe that they can't have their feelings hurt or else you're causing them violence. They're being taught that America is systemically racist, systemically misogynistic, that everything in American life is bad and it's due to the oppressor-oppressed relationship throughout society. And they teach them that people who are better off are exploitative and people who are worse off are inherently victims of some sort of structural oppression. And that is the number one goal of colleges, is to indoctrinate the students in that ideal and that worldview. Anecdotally even, I have a friend who's a business owner at the University of Illinois campus, and she told me that students were receiving emails en masse from professors canceling classes for the very same reasons. All about the grief, all about the trauma, all about the fear that they're facing, and why they need a day off to reflect and collect their thoughts and their emotions, and safe spaces to help them feel better, and milk and cookies and fidget spinners. We're coddling our kids, and in this case, young adults, and we're not preparing them for how the world really operates. And I think that these colleges ought to be held accountable for how they're molding students and what kind of person they're producing at the end of a 4-year education. But if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the like button, make sure you subscribe to the channel for some more awesome content, and I will see you in the next one.